The Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hanatu Musawa, emphasized the strategic importance of Destination 2030, highlighting its potential to unlock unprecedented opportunities for Nigeria's cultural sector. To delve deeper into this groundbreaking initiative, we are joined by Ambassador Ayo Omotosho, MD Travelog. Welcome to our news this
Thank you
evening.
very much for having me.
Okay, Travelog is like an institution or an organization that catalogs all the things that are tourism worthy, right? In
Yes.
Nigeria. What has been your experience like so far?
Close to 20 years now, we've been in this space, advancing the cause of tourism in Nigeria. It's quite memorable and at the same time challenging because when you look at the situation of the country, but just have to forge ahead, having established 2008. So it's been a pleasant trip.
Okay, but we're talking about Destination 2030 now that the minister or the Ministry of Tourism is emphasizing Destination 2030. What are
Yes.
those specific things that we are going to highlight as we journey into this or towards this Destination 2030? What are the specifics?
Yeah, in my view, with profound respect to the Honorable Minister, in my view, I think she has a lot on her table, just to achieve that within the space of 5 years time from now, because 2015, I think it's 2030, 2025 now.
2030.
Yeah, 2030, in 5 years time, she will also achieve a lot, using her goodwill and good offices to achieve that, reaching out to the stakeholders within the country. At the same time, having established some good teams for how to achieve that. I think 2030 is a vision to positioning Nigeria as a real destination, catching up with the rest of African community like Kenya, South Africa, Uganda, and the rest of them as regards to tourism.
I don't know what thing will be a new thing that will come within these 5 years. I think everything tourism is already here in Nigeria, except something else will come up. So what are those things that have been making Nigeria not to maximize the potential of tourism in Nigeria right now that we have to wait for 5 more years?
In my view, it has to start with the government. And now that the president is actually tolling in that direction. In your previous intro, you made mention about the youth development. Youth, that demographic has to be captured into tourism development in Nigeria. That is what we call youth tourism. I'm a founder of African Youth Tourism Festival. And we've been doing that, since we started doing that last year. And in my view, again, for her to establish Destination 2030, there's nothing new that most of us, the stakeholders, that we want to see, except of the fact that they are creating an enabling environment, as regards to, security challenges in Nigeria, as regards to, people should explore freely without any fear or without any stress at all. I should be able to go from here to Calabar. And I think the federal government, they are trying to, look a way around it to shorten the distance within Lagos, for instance, to Calabar within 7 hours, which ordinarily will take you, if not the whole day, because of the bad road. So I think many things have to be achieved within that space. Geographically, Nigeria is beautiful. The skyline everywhere is fine. Our culture is like our DNA, so everybody wants to explore Nigeria, fascinating Nigeria. A lot of interesting places, wildlife, flora and flower, everywhere is beautiful. But what we are waiting for is just the government to kickstart. If the president in South Africa is talking about tourism, so also the president of Kenya. So I want my president, to also talk about tourism in everyday activities at the federal executive meeting, which is passing through the minister.
Okay, how much of this development or of this plan should the private sector take up, for instance? Because when we talk tourism, for instance, even the entertainment industry is part of tourism. We
Absolutely.
talk about Dirty December, it's a tourism thing, but it's
Oh.
also tied to entertainment and all that. And in the experience we've had in Nigeria, most of these things that are flourishing, like entertainment and yes, entertainment has to do with movies and music and all that.
Yeah.
Things that are flourishing did not have the finger of the federal government so much on it, but it still flourished. So how much because the private sector has a lot to do. What are some of those things that they can do if they key into the program of the federal government to make tourism potential what it should be in Nigeria?
Private sectors, no doubt, they are doing their best. When we mentioned about it, music transcends beyond border. Music tourism. Everybody wants to be like Davido. They want to be like
Ariasta.
Arresta. Everybody, the youth, as I said earlier on, the youth aspect of it. Everybody wants to be like Davido, Arresta, Burna Boy, and the rest of them, without waiting for government. But it's a tool. It's part of tourism, which is music tourism. We are known globally that Nigeria is actually doing well as regards to tourism. You know, just recently, let me divert a bit. Just recently, New York Times, declared that Edo State has been declared, as the next destination to visit in 2025 this year.
Okay, a recent article emphasized the kind of economic growth that might come.
Yes.
Because of the West African Museum
Yes.
of Arts.
Yes, MOAs.
Yeah, MOA.
Yes.
Okay, so that is in Edo State, and it is going to be, focused on Edo State and Benin City
Yes.
in particular. So how can that, in clear terms, help to develop the economy of Nigeria, economy of Edo State first of all, and the economy of Nigeria, if things like that are
Let me
replicated
first of
everywhere
all
else?
start by saying that the recognition, of Edo State, for the museum, having established in museum, I think it's transformative moment for people of Edo State and indeed Nigeria. So we are looking at the beyond that will transform in the area of economic impact for the people of Edo State. At the same time, that museum is going to create a lot of employment. It's going to be the highest employer of labor as regards to, the issue of employment. And that alone can generate nothing less than 25,000 jobs for the people of Edo State. And without going, without much ado, you realize that Edo State, the artifact, is recognized as a cultural destination in that region in Nigeria. And going forward, a lot of is going to, generate a lot of inflows for tourists to come. By the time they are coming to Edo State, the tourists, they are going to stay in a hotel. At the same time, they're going to transport themselves. They're going to even eat at the, local restaurants, at the same time sleeping in a hotel. So a lot of hotels will spring up. A lot of activities, will also come up as regards to being on Edo State as a global tourism map in Nigeria.
We already know Edo State as a cultural hub, if you may.
Yes.
People talk about Edo, but when you talk about this museum,
Yes.
the first thing that comes to your mind is the artifacts.
Yes,
Even though
certainly.
you have mentioned the hotels and other things that they can take advantage of, what other things do you think the Edo people can do to make sure that the people who come because of the artifacts don't only see the artifacts, they see other things? What other things do you think that they can sell to the people, sell as in showcase to the people who are coming for tourism?
It's just their art craft. Edo State can begin to study their art craft. Art craft in the sense that, if a young guy or a young person wants to explore Edo State using the advantage of the MOA, for that museum to be settled, they have been settled in Edo State, they shouldn't just go idle. There's going to be a lot of educational workshop, training, and all that, sensitizing them that Edo State having this museum here is going to create a enable environment for the local artists, using the opportunity to showcase their skill to the rest of the world by painting, by selling their art craft. What I mean is just what we call souvenirs. Visiting Edo State is the heartbeat of the nation. So a lot of activities that can generate, creating economic impact for the people of Edo State. Tourism is fascinating. Tourism is about creating wealth for the local, community. The local people must benefit from it. Not only that, and at the same time, when you look at the palace of Edo State and the museum, it's like, they are connected culturally. And so people begin to sensitize and at the same time promoting that destination, go on Instagram, pictures and everything. People will begin to influx of people. Even the neighboring state will begin to visit Edo State. We begin to explore the museum. We begin to see the beauty of the museum, not just the beauty of the museum, but the artifact, all manners of things that's going to be in that museum.
Okay, you are the MD of Travelog, which means
Certainly,
you
yes.
have gone like almost all over Nigeria. The Oluma Rock, the
Yeah.
Azuso Rock, the Obudu Cattle
Obudu
Ranch
Cattle
and all
Ranch.
that. So you've seen all these places. But like I said earlier, some people feel that some of the things that flourish are the things that government did not even put their hand into, but they flourished on their own. So some people are even afraid that if the government comes, they will spoil it as it is. You cannot rule that out. So what are some specific things? Because this collaboration between private sector and government is very important, it's very crucial. What are some of the specific things you want to see? These things should also be maybe the challenges that you have seen in your 20 years sojourn in this line. So what are the specific things you think that the government and the private sector can collaborate, policies that you want the government to bring forward so that this tourism can really succeed? This MOA can succeed and other things about tourism can succeed as we wrap up.
Yes, we must see our national tourism asset as a vital tool to promote tourism. How do I mean? The museum, people must protect it in case if there's any issues. You shouldn't just go to, a certain destination site and destroy it. So collaboration, PPP, private partnership, you must collaborate. You must see that, oh, this is going to work and this is our heritage, promoting heritage. So people will be able to generate, income, earnings. At the same, apart from that, it will also foster, development, unity within the local setting. Like you said the other time that tourism flourishes without even the hand of government. No, that is not true, absolutely. Because if you want to do it without the government backing, without the government enabling environment, it won't go to work like that. But there must be a synergy between the state, between the federal and the local, federal, state and the local government. And what MOA is doing now is going to be like a transformation force, by generating economic impact for that region.
But we want that economic empowerment to come not only to the region where you find Benin, but everywhere else.
Yes.
So how can that also be replicated?
It can be replicated once one is being established now in Edo State. And first, let me tell you of a fact that all the state government in Nigeria has a comparative advantage. For instance, Cross River is selling, adventure tourism, which is Obudu Cattle Ranch. Okay, look at Osun State here. Osun State is selling also cultural product, which is Osun Osogbo and the Olojo Festival. Even Lagos here, we are selling heritage. If you take a safari to, just Badagry, you see the transatlantic slave route. You see all manners, even water tourism, which is, adventure tourism. So every state in Nigeria has its own product, a unique product, without copy from other states. So likewise, Edo State is known for cultural heritage, having cited that, and for New York Times to have recognized Destination Edo as a destination to visit in 2025, it shows that it has been recognized, traced back to the 18th century of Benin Kingdom, without which, culture, the tapestry, shows that that state has been recognized. For instance, in Bauchi, Bauchi is also known for safari. To see the animals, wildlife, the big five. In Bauchi, you see it there. Every state has its own. In Ondo State, you see the adventure tourism at its peak with Idore Hills, about 3,000 feet above the sea level. Ogun State there is also there. Every state, not to talk of our food, sir.
Okay.
Not to talk about food, not to talk about music and sports. The only tourism product that united this nation, apart from any other ones, the only tourism product, which is sport, when Nigeria is on the field, the Eagles is playing, nobody wants to see whether you are from Edo State, whether you are from Nigeria, whether you are from Ondo State, you are from Lagos. Everybody is connected to that, sport arena, and we are playing for just 90 minutes.
Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you for the job you've been doing, because not the government saying you travel long, you're private, but you've been selling Nigeria to the world. And we'd like to thank you for that.
Thank
and
you
we'd
very
also
much.
like to encourage you to continue to do what you've been doing. Now that the eyes of the world is beamed on Nigeria,
Yes, for
I just
Destination
hope that
2030.
your work will be a bit easier than it used to be.
Certainly, yes.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today
very
on the
much for having
on
me.
news. Okay, we've been talking to Ambassador Ayo Omotosho, MD of Travelog, and we're looking at the potential, the tourism potentials in Nigeria.
Hello, hope you enjoyed the news. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified about fresh news updates.